we officially are not at war, but what is going on in Ukraine is some people call it hybrid war. I would call it hybrid war as well, but it is obvious that the Ukrainians would not be able to do what they're doing with long-range modern weapons without direct participation of the American servicemen. And this is dangerous, no doubt about this. We don't want to aggravate the situation, but since ATACMS and other long-range weapons are being used against mainland Russia, as it were, we are sending signals, and we hope that the last one, a couple of weeks ago, the signal with the new weapon system called Oreshnik,
yes,
was taken seriously. However, we also know that some officials in the Pentagon and in other places, including NATO, they started saying in the last few days something like, well, NATO is a defensive alliance, but sometimes you can strike first because the attack is the best defense. Some others in Stratcom, I think, Buchanan is his name, representative of Stratcom, he said something which allows for an eventuality of exchange of limited nuclear strikes. And this kind of threats are really worrying, because if they are following the logic which some Westerners have been pronouncing lately, that, well, don't believe that Russia has red lines, they announce their red lines, these red lines are being moved again and again and again, this is a very serious mistake. That's what I would like to say in response to this question. Well, the message is that you, the United States, and the allies of the United States, who also provide this long-range weapons to the Kiev regime, they must understand that we would be ready to use any means not to allow them to succeed in what they call strategic defeat of Russia. So we would certainly like to avoid any misunderstanding. And since the people, some people in Washington and some people in London, in Brussels, seem to be not very capable to understand, we will send additional messages if they don't draw necessary conclusions. No, but professionals in deterrence, nuclear deterrence policy, they know very well that it's a very dangerous game. And to speak about a limited exchange of nuclear strikes is an invitation to disaster, which we don't want to happen.
We have heard from Vladimir Putin, if there is this continued strength in the war in Ukraine, if the US and all the countries continue to contribute, he has continued to raise the possibility of a nuclear threat. Is that one that you take seriously or worried about?
Of course, we have to take everything seriously, what he says. He has been threatening with the nuclear war for quite some time, but it has been only words. He's very good in sowing fear within our societies and really listening what we are afraid of and giving you the fears that you have. Okay, you are afraid of the nuclear war, so I'm giving out this kind of signals, and the public goes at we can't do that. It is a trap of self-deterrence, because if we are afraid, then we start to self-deter. And that is what Putin wants. So we also have to think what Putin is afraid of. And he's actually afraid of going to war with NATO. So he doesn't want that. And we, of course, don't want that either. But it is to understand the messages that he's giving out so that we would be afraid and refrain from the decisions that we would otherwise make.